What?
You've let me down.
Again?
Last week was Saint Ursula Day
We have found out today.
on the 24th. And boys bring their girls donuts on that day. Where were mine?
I was fairly sure you weren't going to leg it to complain to the Pope, so I thought I'd gotcha. But
Don't take advantage of me like this,
No.
or take me for granted.
all will become clear when you've listened to today's guest.
It's a wide-ranging
It
discussion.
is a bit, isn't it?
From concrete to Buñols.
Most of it was about Sóller, but not all of it.
No, there was some very interesting stuff from our show.
We've got our Sóller Shirley Roberts, our Sóller insider, who came in, covered a wide range of subject, and then has just legged it out of the building because she was going to miss the bus.
She literally just ran out of the studio.
Leaving wanting more.
She's brilliant.
She is. So here's Shirley.
Shirley Roberts, SóllerWeb, welcome back. Mallorca Insider Extraordinaire.
Extraordinaire, I'll take that. Thank
Okay.
you.
You look very well.
I'm fine.
October suits you.
Yes, I like October. I don't feel quite so sweaty, do you?
I think October suits everybody if you've lived here in the
October.
summer.
But don't you also get that kind of like resurgence of energy?
Oh, you do?
Like it's like I've got my brain back.
I think just existing in August and September is quite a struggle.
I think we need medals. I think we absolutely need medals, and we need to be paid to be here.
And you get this glorious blue skies, and it's gone a bit quiet. I love it. If you live here, it's a well-kept secret. Don't come here on holiday in October. Leave it to us, please. But it is actually secretly the best month, isn't it?
I'm very happy to see. I mean, I love the visitors. I am not one of the anti-brigade at any level, and I love their chat, and I love why they're here, and I love what's brought them here, and I love the number of people that decide they really have to give their soul to the Sóller Valley. I'm very, very happy with these people, but there's just times when really nice just to hang around and see local faces.
Peace and quiet. I mean, I think it's just like it is tiring to be crowded and to have a lot of people around you, and it's tiring to be sitting in traffic jams. It's tiring to, have to struggle to park your car outside of your house. And
we don't have much trouble with parking anymore, so don't let anyone think we do in Sóller. We've got car parks growing out of the fields down the main road. Like it's going out of fashion, I live on that main road, so I live in a car park.
Have they paved paradise and put up a parking lot?
Actually, you paved paradise, you put up a parking lot. Why don't you?
They've left you enough paradise, have they? Presumably.
Absolutely left us enough paradise, and I'm not even part of the anti-brigade about the car parks on the main road. I fully understand why they're there. I fully understand the farmers, the local people who were very happy to rent their land to the local authority to build the car parks. This is not a requisition of land. This is, please, will you take my land so that I don't have to plough it anymore? And I'm very happy for 8-9 months of the year to receive whatever lovely figure you give me.
I'm sure, it's probably much less work owning a car park than owning a field that you've got to plant and plough.
To be fair, as they say, you can drive from the Sóller Tunnel down to the sea, and you're not going past endless car parks because they've still maintained a field atmosphere, and there's still bushes at the side of them. So
they've done it nicely.
It's not bad. I mean, I think the people that would criticise are the drainage, because if you have a field and then you make a car park and you do whatever, then there's a big issue about what aggregate, I think that's the word, that you can use on the earth to make it so that the water drains and you don't end up trying to park in a puddle after a rainstorm. But there is a particular row going on at the moment because there are some aggregates that you can use that are really not acceptable for the environment or for the planet.
And they're using those?
It is said. But I don't know whether that is true or not. But it is said.
We should just provide a little bit of context for people who are tuning in for the first time. Sóller is probably the
Straight
prettiest...
into the nitty-gritty there.
Yeah, have some aggregate stories. Why don't you?
Exactly. Shirley's our aggregate correspondent. Yeah.
I'm your aggregate... How do I even know the word?
I was quite impressed then, actually.
Sóller, I think it's probably fair to say, is probably the prettiest valley on the island, and it's become a bit of a magnet for tourists in the summer, and over the last couple of years, traffic jams have been growing and parking problems, so Sóller has been looking at various different ways of sorting it out, and these car parks are that. Hopefully it works. That's just to put a bit of background.
Now, that is the background.
Aggregate.
And also for the sake of good order, as we might have said in magistrates' days, there are 3 different influences on the car parks in Sóller. One is coming under the local authority, so the town hall. The other is coming under money from the Consell in Palma, and then even more money for the much bigger, huger project is coming from Madrid.
Is that the huge project? That's a car park as well?
Well, the huge project, takes in the car parks, but the huge project is much more about putting cameras all over the mountains to stop, to speed cameras to stop the races up the mountains. I mean, that's really come to light in the last week. That there's been information around about that. So there's over the next few years, there's a lot of focus on the Sóller Valley and its access up the mountains.
How do you get all this information, Shirley? Because you're like an absolute well of it. Wealth of it.
Well, I can speculate with the rest of them, but I have a real horror. One of my pet hates is assumptions. So I want to have as many facts at my disposal as possible. If I'm writing about something, I don't mean to say that you can read me and nothing else because I'm the only true voice. I mean, that's a load of old rubbish. But I do spend a lot of time researching, and any local information that I get either via our own local papers that I translate or anything, I'm just constantly looking for facts about, all the speculation.
Because I think you're very well informed.
The local papers are very good, aren't they?
And also,
they are, yeah.
I trust her. I trust that she's telling me the truth rather than making it up. There are people around that thing, and it's like they're almost just kind of like spinning you some kind of story they've made up in their head. It's like, I really feel like you are like giving good information.
Well, I hope I am, and I do work at it. This is something that I do spend time on. And yes, there are the odd times when I'm either publishing something on SóllerWeb or on any other medium I'm working on, and then local people say to me, "How do you know that? We don't even know that."
What's that?
That's really good though, huh?
How do you know that?
What's that saying that a lie is halfway around the block before the truth has got its trousers on, isn't it?
I agree, and this is one of, a serious pet hate of mine.
Yeah.
Because life's too short, particularly when you get older. You don't really need to be spending your time listening to repetitive rubbish that turns out not to be true.
I agree.
And even worse is trying then to pass that on as fact.
I have to educate a few of my cyclist friends who completely misinterpreted a change in the rules about cycling to think they can now cycle the wrong way down one-way streets. Which they can under extremely limited circumstances in the middle of town in the park, but they're whizzing down one-way streets in the middle of towns now. I'm like, don't do that. It's obviously stupid.
No, you're right.
But the laws change.
It is cycling season now, is it not?
Well, cycling
have they come to plague you?
Yeah, they are. I mean, the cyclists we love and hate. I mean, like most of the island, because in fact, I've written something about that on SóllerWeb this morning on my daily letter, which is that we now come into November where the cyclists arrive, and the cyclists are representative of humanity. And that means that the majority of them are lovely people, very, very nice, very lovely people, no problems at all. And there's a minority that are a pain. And most drivers in Mallorca will have a story about the pain.
You only ever remember the stories where they were difficult.
Exactly.
The ones that you whiz past.
Well, you whiz past who are very smile at you when you when you're kind of obviously giving way to them. All the polite niceness of life. Of course, they're capable of
being a decent human being, isn't it?
Absolutely, decent human beings, and we love them in the evenings when they come and have a drink and they have dinner in the local restaurant, and they go to bed by 9. They're not even part of the evening. They're not even part.
You could turn a table.
You
could definitely turn a table.
You've got one of Britain's best cycling commentators living in Sóller.
Who's that?
He's
he might know something you don't know.
Rob Hatch. He's he was the Eurosport correspondent, commentator. He's now for TNT Sports. He's doing the Tour de France next year, and he actually does a lot of live commentary from Sóller town. He's got a house there, so he'll be commentating on a world feed, and he'll be commentating on international stuff from Sóller. And he's from Bolton, I think, but he speaks every damn language in Europe.
He speaks a lot of
brilliantly.
languages.
I love him. I do not know him. him.
Really?
I
Well,
don't.
we have invited him to come on the show, and
Yes.
he has agreed. Ollie just needs to follow it up.
Yeah. But he said it's interesting once because he used to fly from Sóller to Britain to commentate in the studios, and he said it was really strange. I flew from Sóller to Britain to commentate on a bike race that was going past my house. And now he's the other way around. Now he's commentating on races from all over the world from his flat in Sóller.
I'm going to be looking out for him. I do not know this
Yeah,
man.
no,
I do not believe I've met
great.
him. No, I can't pretend I have.
Well,
And he's
Ollie loves him.
He's amongst every other damn language in Europe. He's fluent in Mallorquin. I mean, he does Flemish and French. I mean, everything. He's great. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, maximum respect.
And he's been living in Sóller for years, I think. So
What happens in Sóller in October, November? That might be like an interesting thing
I was
to go
going to say,
and
sorry,
enjoy.
can I preempt that question?
What?
Because we are now a week away from All Saints and the traditional end of
No,
the
not
tour,
even a
of
week.
the season. It's this
It's
week.
this week.
It's this
Halloween.
weekend.
So, I mean, what to move on to Vicky's question? What shuts and what stays open in Sóller when we hit that magic
Well, actually,
date?
you can hold that thought because nobody's going to shut this coming weekend.
Okay.
They all want the incomers that are coming in for All Saints, because many people come and visit their families at this time, so they can all go to the cemetery together for the mass in the cemetery. So nothing much is going to shut this weekend, but then it will all start people that are really going to close down for November and for the next 3 months start next week. Then there are others that will soldier on. I mean, in fact, we were just doing a list on SóllerWeb of who was going to be open or not. And
For Christmas as well.
and Christmas as well. And so most of on the repeat, the hotels there, I think you probably got some of the longest ones that are open. So the Marina and the Gironius are open until about the 15th of November. And then they're the ones that close then until the beginning of February. So we do have a 10-month season.
That's pretty long, isn't it?
It's
compared
very
to other
long,
places,
the
yeah.
10-month season. But then there are about half a dozen hotels, particularly in the centre of Sóller, that are open all year.
It always irritates me in our Facebook group where people go, oh, well, everything's shutting down at the end of October. Oh. It's like Mallorca is actually a place where people live, all year round. So, yes, some of the things on the edges, like on the coastal areas, will close, but the actual towns don't close.
No, they don't. I mean, I think that last year there was criticism of Sóller because too many things did close down in the Placa, in the central part. And so there was probably about 3 places open that any visitor or any local could get a coffee. So there was a couple of weeks where that was the case, and there was complaints about that. Now we have, probably a nucleus of about 4 main ones in the centre of Sóller, and then quite a few up the side streets, because the side streets tend to be more places where local cafes are, and they're going to be open all year anyway. They always are. This is.
They haven't got anything else to do.
They're focused on the residents.
I feel more places like Daya see like restaurant closings for the
Daya,
winter.
Daya traditionally was, but then you've got Gronk now. So Gronk, well, you were there.
Yeah.
We were all there at the opening of Gronk. Well, Gronk has really taken this concept and shaken it, because Fornaluch was another place where a lot of close downs happen. But they are absolutely insistent they're going to be open all year, every day, in both locations.
Emez
yeah.
is a pretty cool girl.
She is. She's
I like
absolutely...
her determination, and she's the joint owner with her. Is it her husband?
That's right, yeah.
And I saw a list of events that they've got coming up. They've got some fun stuff to go to.
Well, you have got to try harder in the winter. You can't necessarily just open your doors and expect people to come. You've got to give them a reason, haven't you? It's so there's more restaurants and more towns do events, aren't they? Nights of art and all that kind of, and tapas tours.
Shall I tell you my story of last Friday night?
Go on then. That's why you're here.
Last Friday night, we had a Tardeo in the market. Okay, so this is one of the...
Which market?
We have a covered market in Sóller, which is the Pink Building.
In the town?
Near the Grand Hotel, in the centre of town. So they have a Tardeo where they have a good food van, they have live music and cocktails. So I had margarita time there, but it started at 4, and so by the time I got there at 6, there were lots of families and kids and everything, and they're all listening to the music and having whatever. And I had a great margarita, so I was there. met loads of friends there that were just happening by. And it was a free event. No one had to pay to go. I mean, you could have stood around the edges and just listened to the music, not spent a penny, which is also a bugbear of mine at the moment about how things cost, but that's another story. But anyway, this was a great Tardeo in the market. Then, when it came to 7 o'clock, I had to make my excuses, even though I could have gone on to the second margarita, because in the Escorxador Cultural Centre, which is a turning off the Luna, so if you're going up the Luna, there is a building. The Escorxador is part of a municipal centre now. It used to be a school, and there's a church part of it.
We've been in there.
You've been there. You've been in there.
For Ramon Ferran.
Yeah, exactly, Ramon.
It was blinking freezing in there last January.
It wasn't cold on Friday, but anyway, we have, and this is my absolute pleasure. We have 3 remarkable musicians. So we have Waltrude Opera, and I can't think of her name, lovely, lovely lady clarinetist. I mean, if you go on SóllerWeb, you'll see I took a lot of videos of this.
I saw your pictures.
And then a fantastic pianist, jazz pianist from Palma. No charge.
Oh, freebies.
Absolutely packed. Stunning hour and a half. I mean, really just magical. And then a collection at the end. You put in what you could afford. Now, as far as I'm concerned, that's the future, because not everyone's got the asking price of €20, or in some cases €30 to go to a local concert. So this worked on every level. The music was great, the atmosphere was great, the place was absolutely packed. And if you couldn't afford anything much, you just put what you could. And then the people that could afford plenty were very generous. So I hope that the musicians got good payment out of that. But the principle was wonderful. Anyway, by that stage, I'm starving, right? So I don't know what time that was, about 8:30 or something. So I wandered down to the square looking, I think I need to eat something somewhere. So I went to Shea Junior. Okay, do you know Shea Junior?
No.
Right, well, Shea Junior has been open for over a year, and it's absolutely revolutionised our lives.
Why?
Because you've got this guy that knows what he's doing. He was, he's Mallorquin, went to Belvoir as a kid, and then went off to boarding school in the UK and became a proper English gentleman, ran a really, really successful events and floristry business from Marylebone, came back here in COVID days, and has stayed. And so we have Shea Junior as a result of all that.
What's the food like?
Absolutely great.
Okay, we're going.
Well, in the square.
Right in the square, on the corner, by the bank.
Right.
And because of his artistic endeavours, you go right now for Halloween, spectacular. His Christmas stuff last year, spectacular. This is a man who knows how to throw a party. It really, really does.
I want to go.
You must go. So anyway, I ended up there, and I saw 2 friends of mine sitting there that were at the dessert stage. Oh, come and have a glass of wine. I said, I'm starving. I'm going to have something. So I sat down and tried to catch up with them very quickly. So Javier comes by. What would you fancy the menu? I said, I know exactly what I want. I want your mushrooms and a glass of wine, because they was doing a special mushroom promotion for the season. And I then carried on and had a great time. So it was a glass of wine, fabulous mushrooms, good chat with my friends. I've got these 2 German ladies who are really, really funny and tell me different stories about Hamburg and that. Did I have the best night? Yes, I did. From beginning to end.
Wow, that sounds cool.
That was Friday night in Sóller for me.
Just following your nose around town, really?
Yeah, I did. I followed my nose around town. How much did I walk? Even half a mile, really. So I'd gone, so the market, Escorxador back to the square, and that wasn't half a mile.
Can I ask a personal question?
A personal question?
Yes. How old are you?
I'm 105.
105? And if you were 105 and living in the UK now, do you think you'd have the same social life as you do now?
No, I'm in my 70s, right? That's all I'll say.
Oh, that's fine. I just wanted a ballpark.
Yeah, ballpark figure is in my 70s. And would I have this kind of life in the UK? Probably yes.
Yeah? Where would you live to have that?
Oh, I'd be living in my bit of North London. So I'd be living around Parliament Hill, and I'd I would know all the cafes and all the different things in Swains Lane and down to Kentish Town.
It's a nice part of the world right now. I used to live there.
I'd be walking across Hampstead Heath and I'd be meeting my friends in the cafe in the middle of the park. No, I would have had a similar life.
Okay.
I would. I haven't that. Yes, I have a very interesting life here, but I can't sit on my hands. So wherever
The reason I'm asking is because I think that, like, especially like women who are single, who are like, it becomes, there's like a point, like we talked before about like going out for dinner on your own or whatever. There becomes a point where it's actually kind of hard, unless you have a kind of outgoing, let's go and have fun kind of nature. It's quite hard to push yourself into those social situations, and I think that women and generally people live longer in the Mediterranean, not necessarily just because of the diet and the climate, but because of the social aspects of our lives here. And that family life and the way that all the multi-generations, the way that you can have a margarita surrounded by people from different, age ranges. That's the sort of thing I'm saying.
Well,
that kind of life is different.
Yeah, that socialising is really genuinely very beneficial to health, and as well as all the other bits you're talking about. When I cycle to work in the morning, about 8:30 in the morning, I go past a little cafe in Andratch Town, which has got quite a lot of old fellas there on their second beer and a brandy by about 8:30 in the morning.
We have a number of village cafes like that.
Yeah, and they look in rude health given their breakfast choice. But,
my theory on that is this, that the age situation is, in fact, a very interesting story, because there's become a bit of an influx of people coming into Sóller who are in their 70s, and they are moving in their 70s alone to live in Sóller.
So Spaniards or foreigners or
No,
mix?
I'm talking people from England.
Right.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and so you have a conversation with them and try to understand it. And this was one conversation I've had very recently, so this is fresh news, if you like. So we have a lady who had a huge career in the UK and then decided a couple of years ago, after knowing Mallorca very well, because she used to come on holiday here, different parts of it, not necessarily Sóller, all over the island. She knows Mallorca as a very favoured holiday place. And she woke up one morning and said, I don't want to be here anymore. I hate what's going on in the UK politically. I don't want to be part of this. I want to go and live somewhere where it's sunny. I currently live alone, and have done for years. I am content with my own company, and I know what to do when I'm in situations where I have to go and meet new people, either in a cafe, bar, talking to them on the bus, whatever. I can do that wherever I want to. And so, therefore, I'm going to go and do it in Sóller. And so she bought a house, which needs a bit of renovation, but she's living in it. She's got the illusion, like most of us, that we're always going to welcome hundreds of visitors. Maybe she will. But her plan was, this is an ideal place for me to move to. So, I mean, we have all these stories of people that have had lovely lives here, and then when they get older, they feel more vulnerable, and so therefore they decide to go back to the UK so that they've got family or other people in close proximity, and they can also speak the language as well if they need hospitals and different things. But no, this was a really interesting conversation, because then once I'd met her, then I started talking to other people and realised just how many people around, and this is probably not just in Sóller at all, it's probably all over the island, that you think the incomers, yes, there are families coming in, there are people coming in for work, there are the digital nomads, but then there's this cluster of older, independent means, they've got no problem. If someone says to you, okay, you're 70, you need to have private health insurance because the new rules won't cover you. They say, fine. I've got enough money for 2,000 euros a year to look after my health. I've got enough money to do that. That's not going to be an issue that stops me. I'm not looking for my S1 form to look after all the things that some of us had the benefit of in the past. She's not looking for that at all. She just has the money, can see it can work, and isn't afraid of her own company, and off we go.
Come on, girl.
Especially if you spend a chunk of your working life tied to a location, partly because of earning a living, and then suddenly you gain the freedom of not having that anymore, then why not follow it? I mean, it's your story. I was thinking exactly of someone that we knew well, and I'm sure you did too, Diane Foden, who lived in Sóller. She was the same thing. She wasn't single. She had a fella, but she did exactly that. Got to retirement and thought, where do I want to be? And she was in North London, wasn't she, before? And then she said, right, Sawyer's where I'm going. And she was.
Did you know Diane?
Great.
I don't think, I'm not sure.
Yes.
You'd have loved her.
Yeah, you would.
She's
yeah.
passed away
She
now.
was a Scouser who lived in Walthamstow, and she got to, and she.
Oh, hang on, I did meet her.
And Norman,
Yeah.
her fella,
Yeah.
Stormin Norman. But unfortunately, we lost Diane more than 10 years ago, I think,
Yeah.
wasn't
It
it?
was a while ago now.
Yeah.
But yeah, she did exactly that. She was sitting in her flat in Walthamstow going, I love Sóller. Hang on a minute. If I rent my flat out, I can rent something in Sóller. I can go and live in the place I've always wanted to. She did.
Yeah.
So,
Now, the discussions are quite interesting now, though, because in my early days when we came here, you were all discussing things like health and how you could get involved in the system here and everything. But now the idea that people just pulled the blanket down on that one, pulled the blind down and said, actually, if you want to come and live here, it's going to cost you X, Y and Z. And if you've got X, Y and Z money and you've made that choice, then all those discussions, all that waste of energy talking all about whether you're in and out of the health system are all done. It's just there.
It's quite daunting, isn't it? If you have to kind of like follow all the visa rules and everything else. So it's nice if you've got the means to just like wipe that lot out. How refreshing!
Well, I think there's an age group of people, whether they're part of the baby boomer generation or not, that are in that fortunate position.
Good for them.
Yeah, I mean, and why not? I mean, my only message to them is don't forget where you're going. You are going into a community where the majority of the people are earning €1,500 a month, and where the children do not have the same opportunities as your grandchildren back in the UK, and the social services and Caritas and all the people that are really doing fantastic work are busier than ever.
That you want to talk about social inclusion?
Yes,
so.
I do. Social inclusion.
So where should we begin? Because this is something that I think there's a really important topic, especially for what you just said in Mallorca. So, for example, we both went to see Rocky Horror a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? But the theatre was very empty, was it not?
Yeah, I mean, they had a number of performances, and so I'm not sure that they were always as empty as the one we went to.
They were all empty.
They were all empty.
Yeah, because you could see all the bookings on the auditorium's
website.
you
could, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like, I'm in marketing, and I would say, like, don't launch 8 performances when you could probably only fill the theatre twice.
Well, that was a bit odd, and people were talking about that at the time.
Like, make everyone come on the Friday and the Saturday, and don't make the cast work all week for nothing.
Because they were then going on to do the same in Barcelona, so they were on a roll, weren't they? They were on a tour.
Yeah, you could have given them the week off.
Yeah, quite.
And touring companies like that. It's nice to have a week off.
I'm sure.
Anyway, so
Anyway,
also the
social
tickets
inclusion.
were quite expensive.
The tickets were, I think, 48 euros. Or
And
something.
the rest,
Yes.
we
I
were down the front, and they were almost 60 euros each.
No, that's right. I was down I think I did pay 58 or something like that. Yeah, I did. So, no, the Rocky Horror Show. The majority of people in the audience you knew, because they were all people that you always see at English-speaking events, which is fantastic. Now, my particular, I won't even say hobby horse, because I don't think it's a hobby horse. It's a crusade. I'm on a crusade now, because I think the social inclusion for people with limited means that they do not have a fullness of experience in life. And okay, yes, you can't eat the beautiful weather, you can't eat the sunshine or the beaches or the mountains that you can walk in, but when to eat is your priority, then everything else comes way down on the list. So even if you are the biggest musical theatre fan, you would never have gone to the Rocky Horror Show, even at the cheapest of seats. And then you've got 3/4 of the theatre empty. Now, if you're going to do that, isn't there somebody in that theatre that says, okay, well, I'll talk to whoever it is that has the opportunity to bring a load of young people in from the children's home or whatever, wherever there's a group of people that do not have those funds. Why are these places playing to half-empty auditoriums?
I used to work in the theatre industry, And we would have exactly those issues, especially on the early days of tours. And it'd be like at the beginning of the week of each place you were going to. So the venue would be, maybe you'd turn up on the Monday, do your get in, and you'd open on the Tuesday evening, and maybe Tuesday and Wednesday they were pretty empty, and you do something, they call it papering the house. So you give away complimentary tickets. So you would do exactly that, but you wouldn't do it at the detriment of any of the fee paying clients, so that you paper the house from the house backwards forwards. Yeah, so you start with the crappiest seats and go forwards, and then what you would do once everybody was in, then the ushers may ask the people to move forwards. You know, like you'd say, right, you know, so there's more of an atmosphere for the performers. I totally agree with you. Like, that is something that is like a theatre norm. At least 20 years ago, 25, 30 years ago, when I used to do it for a living, that's what you would do. Because there's another rule, which is you don't do a show if there's more people on the stage than there are in the audience. If the cast is bigger than the actual audience, you just don't. You just give the money back.
But I love that expression. You're papering the house. It's very simple then.
Yeah.
So if you're papering the house, is there someone that is really then going to get behind that, or are they going to contact the most obvious people to supply?
That's the marketing manager in the theatre normally, or the box office manager in the theatre. They normally work together.
Yeah.
With whoever. So if it's a touring production like Rocky Horror was, they would talk to the producers, and between them they would make a decision. I contacted Rocky Horror, the auditorium, in March when I knew they were coming, to say I would really love to help you promote this, because I love this musical, and I know Jason Donovan has a house here on the island.
Tardeo, he does.
You know, I just would love to be part of it. And they wrote back and said, well, we don't want to collaborate with you, and but we can give you. They actually offered me a pair of tickets, and I was like, blah blah blah. I thought I'll just leave it, and then I didn't get back to them. But I watched the ticket sales, and they, from the day that it was launched, the fans bought the tickets, and then nobody else bought tickets, and they didn't market it properly. So they've known for a long time that they're going to have empty theatres. So it's not like a knee-jerk reaction. You can't just ring up a primary school or whatever, like it wouldn't be a primary school for Rocky Horror, but you can't just ring up an organisation on the day and say, send us 30 people. You'd have to say, you could do it, they would have known in advance, they should have done something. I completely agree with you, but if I knew that all the people behind me weren't paying, and I just paid €60 a ticket, how would I feel? Maybe I should get it for free as well. There's that argument as well, isn't there?
No, there's definitely that argument. But then and that is for all the theatres to work out their own thinking on that. But there almost should be, when you had this idea that you buy a coffee and then you pay for somebody else behind you to have one. It's the same sort of thing, that you don't want to be giving your complimentary tickets away to another just to fill the house. Use it for the social inclusion of people that are going to be marginalised. So if I bring this into Sóller and say that we had a performance in the church that they were charging €30 for because the performance was so good, then why is there any empty seats there? Because in all the inclusion, the Red Cross or the charities, the town hall, they all know the families that might enjoy that.
Well, was it empty?
Half empty.
Oh.
And you are excluding the young and local, mostly, aren't you?
Well,
Which is exactly the sort of people that you really want to get in for the future, isn't it? They might not have the money now, but they may have in years to come, or they might support the organisation going forward.
But if a young person is not introduced to that, I mean, this is where the schools are usually very good. Actually, on this island, they are very good. I believe, anyway, my own family experience of local schools, I'm not talking about the fee-paying ones, but local schools, is that they take them to all sorts of places.
Yeah.
I mean, they go to this theatre principal, they go to the auditorium, they do. They are conscious of the cultural development of their kids. And I think it's great. And that's a good start. But then also, as a town, we should be doing this. We should be encouraging everyone into these things.
How can you push the needle on that then?
I think for a start, we have to declare it as a problem. because mostly people don't even think about that. I've written an article this last week about social inclusion. I mean, some of the feedback is really interesting, but it's very general. And it's kind of, well, you're taking on issue here, Shirley. I don't think you're going to do anything with this one. Oh, this is how it's always been.
Oh.
So we do have a comment or two like that. Oh, it's okay then, is it, to exclude half the kids in this? Well, half is probably an exaggeration. A percentage of kids in this town that don't have the opportunity to do musical theatre or go and listen to a great band or do any of this. But fortunately, so people would say, well, what about your Tardeo last Friday afternoon? Live music in the square. No one was asked to do anything. And what about the every month, at least, you're going to have a couple of occasions in that time where live music will be a feature of the communal life of the place. So we're not really neglecting those kids. Well, I don't know. I think you are. I mean, there's all sorts of music and all sorts of tastes.
I mean, it's a good business decision, isn't it, to invite people if have a taste of live performance, or especially things like plays, dance, opera, things that are a bit more maybe perceived to be highbrow, that maybe aren't for the regular, in inverted commas, people. But I think that maybe those organisations as well don't know how to break into those groups.
No, this might sound like a strange analogy, but it's almost like putting TV sport behind paywalls. Like in the past, golf used to be free to air and loads of people used to watch golf. And then they think, oh, we can make some money out of this. They put it on a subscription-only channel and they make a load of money in the short term, but then there's no new golfers because nobody stumbles across it. Because the point of entry is I've got to spend some money that I can't really afford to go and watch this thing, so I won't. So you don't bring in the new fans. You just,
That's true. It's very exclusive.
And they're about to do it with the Tour de France.
He's very upset about the cycle.
No, I'm not, because I'll find a way of watching it. But it's but it's the same sort of thing. They go, oh look, we can squeeze some money out of this, but you can't casually find these things anymore. You might have stumbled across golf on telly and go, well, this looks all right. Maybe I'll have a go at playing golf. Same thing if you exclude people who can't afford these from these cultural events, they'll never get involved in them because they won't accidentally find them, or they won't wander along going, I wonder what this is all about, because it's a lot of money.
But who are the people that have inspired you and taken you to a place that you've never been? I mean, I think teachers are a huge influence.
Teachers, yes, you're absolutely right.
Teachers.
I was thinking, who was it me? Who was it for me?
Yeah,
teachers.
A teacher.
I was in the school plays at school.
An English teacher.
It was a music
or
teacher.
A music teacher. I mean, these are the ones that
spot on.
So it's a teacher. So you look back and think of her, and that's going on all the time now. This is not just what happened in the past. I know teachers that can see a child with a particular interest and will try and work something out for them to attend things or whatever. I mean, nothing's changed. We are still decent human beings and caring about the people that are in our orbit. And so there are really good teachers all over the island that can recognise talent and try and push kids in the right direction. Sports teachers. I mean, look, the people that get involved in sports and really encourage kids. I mean, every story you listen to from Marcus Rashford onwards has got a teacher in their background that pushed them.
You've ever seen the Ian Wright one?
No, who's his inspiration?
Ian Wright's story is so moving.
It was on Desert Island just crying because he was a bit of a lad in his day, and he had a teacher that said, "Come with me." Well, I don't think he was a sports teacher. He said, "Come under my wing. I'll make sure you're the right thing." And there was one many years later when they've surprised him. I can't remember the name of the teacher. Ian Wright standing in a football stadium, and his ex-teacher walks past and taps him on the shoulder, and he turns around. And he's wearing this big baggy cap, and he immediately takes that and he goes, Mr. Smith, or whatever it was. And because it's a football stadium,
it's very moving.
Ian Wright is like 2 foot lower than him, and he's looking up at this teacher, and he said, "I thought you were dead." It's like, no. It's a beautiful thing actually, when Ian Wright was talking about the Arsenal football player, if you don't know, he was talking about this on Desert Island Disc, and he was in bits. This one man totally changed his life.
Oh, don't make me get. I haven't had enough sleep. You've got me going.
No, it's.
It's something else, guys.
But I think teachers are unsung heroes for the future of the generations below.
We all remember the cool teachers at school.
The teachers that can push you challenge you and make you think about something going completely in a different direction, or even even just supporting your ideas and not
exactly.
dismissing
God,
you.
we've come a long way from aggregate in this conversation.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I do know a lot of things. Yeah, the aggregates.
Both are fascinating.
I know a lot about, sort of soft shell aggregates.
We never know what we're going to end up with, do we?
Well, you did ask me if I had anything to say today. I'm sorry.
I'm having a lovely time.
If we've gone from one to the other.
I think it would be great to try and figure out a campaign. Don't know how to do it.
Well,
we're happy to help you if we can figure out a way of doing it. I totally agree with you, Shirley.
I think to a certain extent we need to know what's already there, because there's, again, an assumption. I assume that nobody in the auditorium actually contacted anybody and offered them free tickets for kids that couldn't afford it.
I doubt
Maybe I'm wrong.
I doubt that they can offer them to children, given the subject
No,
matter
not
of Rocky
directly
Horror.
to children. Not for Rocky Horror, no. But I mean...
But other events.
Yeah, for other events, yeah. And I think that you have to start from fact. Does this exist? Is there a central organisation who's doing this? Do they think that they're doing enough because they're working through the schools network to encourage, so when they put a performance on? I mean, you look at some of the stuff that goes on in Teatro Principal, and you see that certain afternoons, there's definite school performances. So they're bringing in kids from all over the island. So this does exist up to a point.
But that will also be getting funded by the education
probably
department.
is. Yes, it will be.
So they're not being given freebies.
They're not. No, they're not.
The education or the cultural department will be contributing to that.
So really what we are identifying...
one more thing. Or it could be that the theatre, as part of its funding agreement with the cultural department in the Balearics, has to do it.
Has to do it, yeah. That may well be the case. But what we're looking for really is local people, musicians and anyone that are really putting on performances, to have it as part of their game plan that they will give away X number of tickets every time they have a performance, X number of free tickets, and whether that's done through social services of the town or whether there's an organiser for this. But it can't be that difficult.
No,
I think. Hang on though. There is one problem, which is that up until the last minute.
Yeah.
It's hard to know how many tickets you're going to have left.
Yes.
And then you've got the capacity issue as well. Like you don't want to give 30 tickets away and then just turn down the sale of 30 tickets if you're a musician, But
then the interesting thing is that with my concert last Friday, there wasn't a seat in the house. Now this is advertised as a free concert. There was not a seat in the house. So therefore you couldn't have said, okay, well. You wouldn't have wanted to do that. You had the choice whether you turned up or not. If you're using Sóller main church, where you can have 1,000 people in there, you're always going to have a chunk of that area that is not being used. You can give away 30 tickets there without that affecting anybody, even if you are papering the, what do you call it?
Papering the house.
Papering the house. We're papering the house.
You like that expression?
I love it, I do,
I haven't said that in such a long time. I dug that out of
let's paper the house.
My back brain.
I don't know, when we moved to Mallorca, and still to this day, I'm always one of the things I really liked was how much inclusion there was in local fiestas. That whether you were 100 or 8, you were in the fiesta. Sometimes at the same time, all dancing in the square, or there'd be, young people's things, old people's things. Actually, that the complete participation of the entire population in local culture was something I thought was brilliant. I mean, when I was in the UK, there would be local culture, but it tended not to always involve the young people, or that it wasn't deliberately divisive. It just wasn't the same spirit of inclusion. So it needs to, you need to carry on, don't you? Because otherwise you kind of start building these little we're over here and they're over here
Ghettos,
kind of things.
you would say.
Yeah, I guess so. But
I mean, very interesting this year for the Firo, for the first time ever, they created a children's Firo.
In May.
In May, so you've got the main Firo and all the happenings of the week before and after is magnificent, as you know. But this year they created the children's Firo, where children were given all the main parts, and they had a reenactment outside the town hall.
They got to hang each other.
Honestly, it was absolutely brilliant.
I bet.
How old were these kids?
Oh. 8, 9.
Oh my
no,
God.
No, I'm talking about little kids.
Dressed up like
little
more than
Lord
Christians.
like Lord of the Flies.
Well, yeah, they're all on the church steps, and then there's this little girl, and she's got, one of the pirates comes up. He was probably about 8.5, if that, and he gets the treasures from the church and throws them down the stairs and breaks it. All part of the traditions of what you would have done in the adult one. Well, it was stunning. Absolutely stunning, and so we're told that's now going to be a feature of this. So you're going to have, and it's 2 separate. So that was on a different day. That wasn't the same day or anything like that.
That's a good
so
idea.
It was absolutely wonderful.
Getting your children involved in the local history is really good.
Yeah, no, it really is.
Andratx had junior demonies for one event.
Oh, you've got junior demonies.
And I only saw them once.
Yes.
So giving children fireworks and throw them at people was.
That happens quite a lot.
They were under supervision of adult demonies at the time, but they were
was
cool.
cool.
It was really cool. I don't think I've seen them since.
I
Though. I
haven't
don't know
seen
whether that
them
still
since.
exists.
We've got the young drummers. This is another feature of this year. So we've got, you've got the town band, and you've got everybody that does, and you've got the people that accompany all the parades, the musicians that accompany the parades. But they've recently created a new section of young drummers. These are the sweetest things you've ever seen in your life. Mm-hmm. All under 10 again, and
tight, and like bigger. The drums are bigger than them.
they're almost, yeah. No, I mean we do wonderful things in Sóller. Actually, they do really wonderful productions. They know what they're doing, and there are people that regret the old days like they always do. But going forward, there's some serious hard work goes on into this.
I mean, you get them in the Fiesta at 80. At 8, they'll still be there at 80.
Well, they will. They will. But there is already a tradition. You have to come back. I mean, if you're a kid that lives here and you've gone away to college or you've gone away to work, then you're only allowed one fiesta in 5 not to be here. Now, this is a totally unwritten rule, of course, but the kids all know this. I've got to come back. I've got to come back for Fiesta.
I've heard this as a very all the way across Spain. As if you only come back one day a year, you come back for a village fiesta.
You know what? Gigi missed the Sant Antoni fiestas this year in January because she went back to Manchester. I really missed her. I really thought she missed it too. Because it's our favourite fiesta of the year. It's not. And I know it's island wide. It's not like a special one for Andratx. But it's because we get to take the dogs and get them blessed, and we take the horse and get her blessed, and that sort of thing. And it's a really special day.
And it tends to be, I personally really like the fiestas in the winter because they tend to be without tourists, so the local people enjoying their local traditions, rather than the summer ones, which often get a little either very crowded with visitors or quite often manipulated in order to generate revenue, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
The fiestas in Port Andratx, very traditional. But it's also the best day for business for the year.
Oh, so, you've got to book your
all the restaurants are heaving,
and
it must be exactly the same in Sóller, actually, isn't it?
Oh no, completely. I mean, in my own family, of course, we've got my oldest granddaughter who lives in London these days, but she was back for St Bartholomew this year. She'll come back. She'll be back for Christmas. I mean, and even to the point where. I mean, she's been living with her boyfriend for the last 4 years. You'd expect them to want to be together at Christmas and New Year. He goes home, she comes home.
I completely get that. I used to tell my mum that I couldn't come home for Christmas because I was working on Boxing Day and Christmas Eve. And it was just because I couldn't be bothered. I just like being on Christmas on my own. So I totally get that. You don't want to I didn't want to spend it with anybody really, but I didn't go home for Christmas. But I didn't go to my boyfriend's house either.
Lucia's got an interesting one because she can in her work from home, but she can't work from anywhere else other than the UK. Oh. So her partner comes from Belfast, so she can spend New Year as a working week in Belfast, but she can't spend that week as a working week in Mallorca.
Oh, because of the IP address,
I presume, or whatever their rules are, because she works for a large organisation. So it means that this year she will be here for Christmas, but she will be in Ireland now for New Year because of that reason. But it's a shame. But no, the kids, and there are certain days when if you're FaceTiming her, she really doesn't want you to because it reminds her too much of where she wants to be. Because she's missing what's going on. It's such and such today, or we have in La Huerta, we have which is where the bit of Sóller that I live. We have a fiesta, and it's pretty ridiculous because in a narrow street right outside my daughter's house, there's a stage erected. There's no sleep for 3 days. This is whatever. And so you'll have a FaceTime there, and you can tell that she wants to know, but she's upset by knowing because that's all happening in her house outside her front door. And so it's like, this is really tricky for kids that have had a great life here.
Yeah.
I mean, she's having a great life, what she's doing now as well, of course, but she comes home often.
I bet. They'll be back one day.
And you know what it's like.
I'm feeling nostalgic now.
This is, yeah.
Oh, don't everybody, I don't know, I'm sleep deprived, I'm all teary.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
oh, okay. So when are you coming back? When are we going to see you next?
Oh, whenever you like.
Would you like to come in beginning of December and tell us about
fine.
Christmas?
I can tell you all about Christmas and Sóller.
Woo!
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'd love if you come back in.
And we need Bonfire update.
Oh, Bonfire
It's
update.
a very contentious issue, isn't
What?
it?
Now,
In
what's
Sóller?
happening? Is there going to be any... Do you have one in Calvia this year?
Oh, no, I'm
God
talking about
knows.
Bonfire Night. I'm talking about people burning the fires. burning
fires.
That's big. Oh,
Let's
okay. We
leave
won't.
that till
We won't
next
talk
time,
about that
will
next time. We'll talk about
No,
Christmas.
I sigh because this is we talk about fires all year, and but as we now go into this inversion period, which is out where we get the most fires.
I should put some context in. You're not allowed. This is burning
Cold,
agricultural
hot
stuff and
inversion.
garden rubbish and stuff like that. And you're not obviously allowed to do it during the summer because it's a big fire risk. And after some point in October, they normally relax it, so everybody suddenly starts the bonfires. And Sóller gets a low kind of cloud of smoke hanging around over
This
it.
is
doesn't
called
it?
our inversion.
Yeah, you go.
Does it affect your breathing? Do you find? Does it affect you? The fire, the
No,
smoke.
it doesn't seem to affect me. I don't know whether it's because of where I live, and I can see the fire. I can see the smoke from the
Can you
fires.
smell it?
Not.
So it's not
usually
bothering
not.
you.
No, I can't say it really does bother me. I can see when you're driving through it, you think, oh my God, why has that person got a fire there? What's going on? And all the rest of it.
The smoke just sits in the valley,
it sits
doesn't it?
there until it gets warm enough to get sort of evaporated.
A lot of people are not in favour of it. Anyway, I
I
probably shouldn't have brought that up, should I?
And most people aren't. No.
But,
Well, if it's affecting people's air quality,
Yeah.
I get it.
It's a conflict between what people have traditionally always done and modern sort of health theories on stuff like that. But
Yeah. No, this is a very big subject. Everybody's got an opinion, and as far as I'm concerned, right now, before we go into that one, I just got to go and eat a lot of donuts.
there you go.
We've got to eat the Buñols because that's what
Oh,
they
the Buñols.
No, they're here.
The
They're here.
Buñols.
They're
Is
here
it-
now
oh,
this
crazy,
week.
I haven't had a Buñol yet.
You haven't had one.
Not yet, not this year.
They were doing it in Andrat Square the other day. We missed
So for
it.
those that don't know, this is a donut with a hole in the
God.
middle, and
No, it's better
look,
than a donut.
These are very
potato flour.
local things, aren't they? But Buñols,
flour.
they're
Buñols potato flour with an indentation in the middle. Of course, it's all to do with St Ursula and her
Is it?
11,000 virgins that got massacred, and so therefore
Is it?
you don't know the story.
No.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. I'm sitting comfortably.
No, yeah.
Okay, so we have a tradition on this island which celebrates Saint Ursula, and so she went off with her social activists of the time to complain about the treatment of women to the Pope, but she got done in, as did her ladies with her. Allegedly, 11,000 of them
Killed.
Anyway, so they all got killed.
Blimey.
By who?
The people that wanted the girls to go back to their villages and marry the village boys and do what they're told.
Oh,
All right, so that's the principle of
the
that.
Catholic Taliban.
I suppose it was.
That's a big subject.
I suppose it was. Anyway, I mean, research this because I'm really not making it up. So we've got. So when you come to St Ursula's Day, which I think is the 24th of October, then the what happens is that the young men's fancy turns to love. They take their carnations, their buñuelas, and some sweet wine, and they go and serenade their ladies from the ground floor, and the girls look out at them longingly from the first floor, and if they like what they see and hear, and they're tempted by the donuts, then the door is opened, they're invited in. So the idea is that the buñuelas were commemorating this lady, Ursula, who is probably a virgin, so it's the Virgin's Day, who has decided to go to get freedom, but the local boys want all their girls to stay. And so that's the tradition on the day.
Oh, it's
Never
very
mind a political
confusing
crusade, here's a free
thinking
donut.
there.
Yeah.
Right.
You will be tempted to stay with me here if I give you a donut and I sing you a song.
I see.
Hello, modern life.
You are
But
quite-
we still commemorate this very religiously, very importantly.
I love a Buñola though.
Oh, yeah, I love them too.
Whoa, it's so good.
And-
Straight
yeah.
out of the fire.
They make them to
out of
order. The
fat.
queue is about
Dear-
3 hours
That's
long
right,
because
yeah.
they're all
Delicious.
made literally by hand, aren't they? They're
And then
sort
you
of-
do. You walk around the street with a bag of donuts, eating them in the street. I mean, your mother probably told you not to eat things in the street, but this is the
Not my mother.
the best street food ever, isn't it?
There is a place actually that I secretly go to occasionally in Carrefour in the Aussie Max. You know the Aussie
Yeah,
Max.
yeah.
There's a Buñol place outside in the car park. I'm
Secret-
sorry, I'm letting you into a
Secret
secret now.
pleasure.
And you could buy like a quarter kilo for €5, and sorry, they don't get home. They don't make it out of the car park sometimes.
I know what you mean. I know.
And
what you mean.
they're like, how big are they? Like they're size of like a mandarin, aren't they? Like they're not big jammy donuts like Greg's is. And it's just like a piece of like fluffy, deep fried deliciousness that's hot with granulated sugar on it and little. No, it's just perfect. They're perfect.
There you are.
So
That was a good way to end it. Go and get your Buñol.
Get Buñols.
Yeah.
Aggregate to Buñols.
Aggregate.
And everything in between.
Aggregate to Buñol.
There's the title of this episode done.
We are done here today, I think.
Aggregate to
Quick,
Buñol.
tell everybody about SóllerWeb because that's.
Oh yeah, SóllerWeb. Yeah. Well, SóllerWeb is my life. No, SóllerWeb is the website that we run for all the information about the Sóller Valley. And every day on SóllerWeb Facebook, you'll get a letter from me every day telling you what the weather's like and what my musings are of the day. And
it's a brilliant project.
Today,
I like how you've managed to be so consistent with that. Just the consistency of writing that every day is admirable.
well, my story of the day is to do with mince pies, right?
Donuts and mince
this is on
pies?
today's story. That I can't get mince pies yet until after Halloween at nice price, okay? And so when I was complaining about this, or looking forward to the ones that I will be able to get soon, then I said, I know all of you out there will be telling me that I should just make my own. But in the words of Shirley Conran, life is too short to stuff a mushroom.
Yes.
She's completely right.
On that note.
We'll
Come
have
back again
mince.
soon.
Should we have mince pies in the studio for
Let's do that.
December?
Next time you're here, there'll be mince pies.
I'm going to get so
yeah.
fat in December. Thanks so much for coming.
No, it's been great. Thank you.
You've
So-
learned a bunch of stuff there, haven't you? I have.
I refer you to the donuts.
I'll go and find some
Off
donuts.
your trots. Go and get some.
All right. Thank you for joining us today. We'll cut this short because, well, we can't cut any out of Shirley, can we?
Definitely can't
No.
cut out any of Shirley.
So, yeah, if look at the links below. We'll link to SóllerWeb so you can find out what Shirley's talking about and her daily updates. If you could subscribe to our podcast wherever you find it, give us a review, and you can sign up for the newsletter and about a billion other things as well. All the links you need are below the show description wherever you found this podcast.
Do us a favour and leave us a 5-star review wherever you're listening to this because it really helps to get the podcast more visible.
It does.
Really, please do that.
And we're putting it on YouTube as well, although if you're listening to it here, just listen to it here.
Yeah.
But it's on YouTube as well if you want to subscribe to that channel.
But nothing different happens. It's
No.
just an audio file with a video
and
with
a
a picture
photograph of us smiling for an hour.
I can't do it for an hour.
I couldn't look out for more than 30 seconds, so look at it for an hour. See you next time.
That's it now. Bye.
Hey, thanks for listening. Listen, we need your help. If you don't mind, would you please subscribe wherever you got this podcast? You can find it in most places, Spotify, iTunes, all the rest of them. Just click subscribe, and if you get a chance to leave us a review and you'd like to leave us a good one, we won't stand in your way. And something for you. If you'd like to get our monthly newsletter, then visit our website. That's Mallorca-Mallorca.es. That's Mallorca with a J, -Mallorca-ES. And follow the link there. And if you'd like to ask us a question, send us a DM to our Facebook or Instagram channels. And wherever you get your podcasts, if you see the show notes, you'll see the links for everything you need. Thanks for listening. See you next time.
Bye.